Hello and welcome to the Foxcatcher AFL preview show. My name's Julian Vallance, joined as always by Bernie Vince. Bernie, let's get into round 4 action here. And we're going to start off with Geelong versus Melbourne. Now, Cats at home, market loves the Cats at home. We spoke about this a lot, 80% market expectation to win, which sits at around $1.25. They're shorter than that. They're at $1.20. And I think that comes back to also the fact that the Demons can't score, and down there, I think they might find it really difficult.
Melbourne averaging 66 points in the first 3 rounds, which they're just uninspiring at the moment, the way they're playing. They're not scoring. There's no pizzazz in their way they're moving the ball through the middle of the ground. They need to take the game on more. Some upside, I look at Pickett available this weekend, possibly. Bailey Fritsch was goalless last week. He kicked 3 points, still hit the scoreboard but missed. Just need to change it up a bit. Whether a Tom McDonald goes forward again, there's just no target. That big target up there, Van Rooyen's been pretty quiet. Just need a big target up there just to bring it down, especially with Pickett back in the side. Ball on the ground's fine. Chandler's been hitting the scoreboard too. So need a bit of change there, Melbourne. I don't know if they can get this one done.
It's a tough one to go to, the road down to Geelong. And obviously, this is a tricky game from a betting perspective. So looking at this, it's going to be a low disposal game. We know Geelong like to give it up, but so do Melbourne. So I don't think if you're playing in the SGM space, you play on the disposal side. I think you stay away from that, especially 25 plus, 30 plus. If you're going to do it, maybe look at a Melbourne player because Geelong are happy to give it up. But I think we look at goal scorers. And I think when you look at goal scorers with the Cats, this is the man, Jeremy Cameron. And you look at those numbers there from StatMate. They're going to be your best friend throughout the year, StatMate. So 4 plus is probably it's where he's going to be, especially at GMHBA. But let's look at the points bet price. And we're getting $2.10 something, 3 plus Jeremy Cameron. I think that's where we go for this game. I think that's where we look.
Yeah, I like that. Nice and safe. And we saw if you're going to play disposal-wise, Geelong gave a heap up to Brisbane last weekend in a tight one. They had 4 or 5 players over the 25 mark. So if you're going to go, I'd go Melbourne, like you said.
Here's a game that's going to be an absolute belter. Gold Coast versus Adelaide. 2 teams that are absolutely flying. It was flip of the coin at the start of the week. Gold Coast, just probably with the home ground advantage, is now marginal favourites, and that's a positive there. But this has impact, I think, throughout the futures here. So we're looking at futures markets, top 8s, top 4s. A win here for a team like Gold Coast, who have a beautiful run in. After these games, they've probably got 3 winnable games. And conversely, Adelaide have got probably 3 tough games. A win for either team, I reckon, just about locks top 8 and gives top 4 an opportunity. A loss here, and I know it's only round 4, Bernie, but I reckon you're back in the mix of 6th to 12th.
Yeah, no, you are. And I like Gold Coast for top 4 too. And they're going to shorten. They've got a really good month coming up. They can win all 4. Got their tougher ones at home. Adelaide's a tough one, don't get me wrong. But I'll be looking at overs here. 2 teams that have scored very, very well, and their mids rack it up too. So Matty Rowe's on fire. Anderson's getting a heap of the footy. And conversely, Adelaide, they're just statting up as well. So a lot of goal scorers too. Look at the goal scorer markets for the big boys up there for Adelaide, because they're all hitting the scoreboard.
Now, you're an Adelaide boy. You have to go back there. You do a lot of things in Adelaide. I'm going to put the heat on you here.
Okay.
Adelaide top 8 and even top 4. Their next 4 are difficult. What about them missing the top 8?
Don't mention. I said not to mention that. 355 to miss the 8. I don't want to be a glass half empty man, but they could. They could. It's a big April. Let's put it that way. It is a big April. They need to beat either the Suns. They need to beat the Cats at home, maybe off a 5-day break. Then they've got the Giants and then Freo away, which is very tough. It's a big month for Adelaide, put it that way.
They're throwing rotten bananas at you in Adelaide right now here,
Can
Bernie.
I stay with you?
Yeah, absolutely not. Let's get to North Melbourne versus Sydney. This is an interesting game because it's at Marvel. Now, we know Marvel going into round 3 was a high-scoring ground, averaging 193, Bernie. Last round, it only averaged 159. The concerts are starting to catch up to this ground. Now, 174.5 is the total point line. I think we can play the unders here this week, Marvel Stadium. I'm a bit worried about the service.
Yeah, 159 average last week, so that's down from 193, I think you were saying earlier. So, yeah, I think it's time to start going unders at Marvel, and 2 teams. It might be a bit of a defensive game, but the North Melbourne mids, geez, they're finding some footy. They flick it around. So Simpkin, these sort of guys, getting lots of the footy, so include them. Yeah,
SGM's be with the Kangaroos. They're a high disposal team. Check out the socials at Foxcatcher Intel. If you please having a bet, make sure it is a really sharp one. We'll see you very soon.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.